Rogan's voice echoed across the MMA world like a warning siren, the kind that doesn't just spark headlines but shifts the direction of careers. When he spoke about Dakota Dicha, it wasn't casual commentary, it wasn't hype, it was recognition. And recognition from Joe Rogan is different. It carries weight inside the UFC offices, in locker rooms, and in the mind of every champion listening. Dakota didn't scream when she heard it. She didn't celebrate like someone who'd just been handed validation from the sport's loudest microphone. She simply acknowledged it, calm and composed, saying she felt honored and motivated. That response was more terrifying than any call-out could ever be, because when dangerous fighters stay calm after being validated, they don't slow down, they sharpen. Joe Rogan didn't crown Dakota a superstar, he exposed her. He peeled back the surface and made the world understand that she isn't just technical, isn't just aesthetically marketable, isn't just undefeated. She is violent by design, precision mixed with punishment, timing fused with intent. And once the MMA world starts seeing you as a calculated finisher rather than a prospect, there's no hiding from the expectations that follow. When Rogan calls you nasty, the clock starts ticking. He's watched generations rise and fall, from the dominance of Ronda Rousey to the reign of Amanda Nunes, to the surgical brilliance of Valentina Shevchenko. He knows what a wave looks like before it crashes. And this time, he wasn't reminiscing about greatness, he was pointing toward the horizon. Dakota Dicha, the British striker born in Sale, England, raised in Muay Thai under the watchful eye of her mother, Lisa Howarth, a combat sports pioneer in her own right, has grown from prodigy to predator in full view of the sport. Amateur gold in 2016, relentless development, a spotless professional record, knockouts stacking up without damage stacking against her, clean domination. No chaos in her face, no swelling, no doubt. Rogan broke it down with the tone of someone who understands consequences. He said Dakota isn't hype, she's precision timing and violence combined. He called her the most dangerous striker since Valentina herself. And then he dropped the line that set the internet on fire. If Valentina fought Dakota right now, she might not walk out the same. That wasn't disrespect, it was analysis. And in this sport, analysis can feel like prophecy. Valentina Shevchenko has long been the standard, the bullet, the technician, the queen of composure. Her reign built on calculated destruction and championship poise. But every era eventually hears footsteps, and Rogan made it clear he hears Dakota's. Younger, faster, explosive, coming from a system that forges aggression under tighter spaces and smaller gloves. Dakota's finishes in the PFL weren't lucky swings, they were structured breakdowns. Knees placed perfectly, hands doubled up with purpose, first-round stoppages that silenced arenas before fans had time to settle into their seats. What makes Dakota dangerous isn't just her power, it's her temperature. She doesn't bark, she doesn't chase attention. When asked directly if she believes she could beat Alexa Grasso or Valentina Shevchenko, she didn't hesitate. She said yes, calmly. That kind of self-belief without theatrics unsettles veterans. It suggests preparation, it suggests vision, it suggests inevitability. Rogan wasn't selling a fantasy superfight, he was highlighting a collision course. Technique versus raw firepower, legacy versus acceleration, the calm mastery of a reigning queen against the cold momentum of a challenger who has never tasted defeat. In a division starving for the next seismic shift, Dakota's name suddenly carries gravitational pull. But the storm doesn't stop there, because while Rogan's words elevated Dakota, Dana White's words complicated the narrative. The UFC president didn't mince phrases when discussing Julieta Martinez, the 20-year-old prospect he labeled as super green but dangerously talented. Dana described her as hungry, as a killer with heart beyond her years. And when the UFC boss positions a newcomer as the future, it's rarely accidental, it's strategic, it's pressure. Julieta Martinez represents the other side of Dakota's ascent, the internal threat, the hungry young savage aiming to dismantle hype before it hardens into dominance. Dana isn't simply promoting her, he's weaponizing her. At just 20 years old, Martinez is being framed as the one who could slice through Dakota's momentum and claim the spotlight for herself. In a division built on evolution, youth is both an asset and a ticking clock. So now the women's landscape feels charged. Dakota Dicha, undefeated and accelerating, backed by Rogan's analytical prophecy. Valentina Shevchenko, the established monarch, whose era defined precision. Julieta Martinez, the ferocious newcomer anointed by Dana White as the future. 3 trajectories intersecting in a sport that devours complacency. And this is where the tension becomes electric, because Rogan's words didn't just compliment Dakota, they forced the entire division to acknowledge her. They turned quiet dominance into unavoidable conversation. When the most trusted voice in MMA says you're different, competitors start studying tape differently. Champions start imagining matchups differently. Executives start making calls differently. The question now isn't whether Dakota belongs in the conversation, it's whether the division is ready for what happens if Rogan is right, if she truly is the next evolutionary step, if Valentina's era meets its storm, if Dana's young weapon rises fast enough to collide with Dakota before the crown changes hands. This isn't speculation anymore. It's momentum building under bright lights. It's prophecy meeting opportunity. It's violence waiting for a stage big enough to contain it. So now it's your turn. Do you believe Joe Rogan's warning? Is Dakota Dicha the future who ends an era, or will Valentina Shevchenko defend her throne and silence the hype? And what about Julieta Martinez? Does she disrupt everything before that super fight ever happens? Drop your predictions below, join the debate, and make sure you like and subscribe, because the women's division isn't simmering anymore. It's boiling, and the next chapter could explode at any moment.